What's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary, another episode. And what's beautiful about today is we were just talking investing yesterday. We were talking about investing in real estate. We were talking about investing in the stock market, specifically through some ETFs and index funds. We've talked about that a few times over the last couple of weeks. I'm excited to either start a new conversation or continue the old one with my main man, Eric. What's going on, brother? Welcome to the show.
How you doing, David? How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Hey, I'm excited to talk to you because, a real estate investor is seeing potential on the internet, and that is not always worlds that overlap. What did you see, my brother?
What did I see in real estate?
What did you see in the internet and in coming online and starting a business or a venture via internet marketing? When many want to just get into real estate and they think that that's ultimately where they want to land and be full time. So I'm trying to understand, what did you see
Yeah,
in the internet when you've been an offline guy, a real estate guy for I would assume a while.
yeah.
Hey brother, what sort of opportunity did you see and why are you here ultimately?
That's a good question. I mean, what I saw with the internet and getting into this platform, first of all, it's about diversifying. That's anytime you get into investing, period, just in general.
Okay.
So I just saw opportunity. I know that's the wave of the future, and you can reach so many people. So with real estate, I can only reach so many people. But now I says, you know what? I want to diversify myself in investing. I want to get on the internet platform. Now I can reach all type of people from far and wide, and that's how I got into this and wanting to do affiliate marketing. The internet. That's what gravitated me to there because the potential, just the internet itself, to reach so many people. I don't know if I
And
answered your question.
And right now, well, you answered my question in your way, which is what I'm trying to get in
Sure.
your head. This show's about your head and trying to see what you see and relate that to these folks who are watching and trying to make the decision themselves. This is not about convincing that everybody that this is for everybody. That's not my
Correct.
job. My
Right.
job is to help people to make an informed decision by just trying, and that's why we do this show, is because what better way to hear it from the horse's mouth, somebody who's actually not me, but
Right.
you. So, but a client, somebody who's just started. So, real estate is not what do you think about the real estate game right now? And we'll talk about internet marketing, but I want to contrast the two. What do you think about what does the real estate game do right now as interest rates go up? Are a lot of real estate investors looking for alternative methods of income and so forth right now when rates go up like they are right now?
With real estate the way it is right now, and the interest rate so high, what people have to understand is that with real estate, there's so many things you can do. There's so many different avenues you can go about. So I'm going to give you an example. Even though the interest rates are high, I typically, as an investor, I can do other things to get lending, for example, and other strategies like hard money lending or
Okay.
private lending. So
Right.
I have other avenues to go through, not just the traditional way through going through a bank. So that's
Gotcha.
what's good about real estate investing. There's so many ways to skin this cat. It's
Right.
just how you want to go about doing it. And I've learned that over the 20 years.
And that's interesting because my game's the same way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The
Yeah, you
digital
do real
marketing
estate.
game, there's
Oh,
several ways to skin a cat, you know what I
that's
mean? You can come in here and you can get into drop shipping, you
right.
can
Mhm.
get into Amazon sales, you can get into MLM. I mean, you could do that online. You could do,
Yeah.
so many different things. You could sell uh knickknacks on Etsy. I mean, or things that you make, arts and crafts, whatever. There's so many things you could do. The thing that we like about this business model is that it's digital. The products, there's nothing physical. You don't have to ship anything. You don't have to manufacture anything, and there's really high profit margins. From a business owner perspective, what are some of the things that stuck out to you as you were going through the challenge and so forth about the business model specifically?
About the business model, back to the affiliate marketing. I mean,
Well, affiliate marketing and selling information.
um, what it brought to me was just, I don't know, just like I said, I mean, there's so many ways you can do this. My daughter does drop shipping. It wasn't something that interested me because I don't want to deal with physical products, but I like the idea of doing affiliate marketing. That's what
Good for
drew me
her. She's an
into.
entrepreneur, huh?
She's definitely an entrepreneur.
Good for
But
her.
what drew me to the online and affiliate marketing was I don't have to collect any products. You know, there's no customer service I have to deal with, and so it just made it a lot easier as I'm doing other investments as well. So as I'm diversifying myself in real estate and other things, I don't want to make another job. I want something that's going to be a lot easier for me to get into without having to do so many things hands on. So that's what I like about the affiliate marketing. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And you talk about overhead and like really the cost to get started. And I like talking to people who have other business or entrepreneurial experience because they can help me communicate to people who don't that this is really not this is not a lot to start a business. I mean, normally you have to, let's say you were starting a restaurant or you're starting a construction business. I mean, let me tell you the amount of equipment, the amount of storage. And I know because I was in construction with my dad at one time, and I've known many people who have owned restaurants. Even if you're out slanging hot dogs, man, you got to have a hot dog stand and cart that thing around.
Yeah.
There is a big difference between doing this and being able to do it all on this or on a laptop versus carting around a lot of equipment and so forth.
So before I even got into real estate, one of the ventures I was looking into was back in 2000. I was looking into getting a franchise, and the franchise I was looking to get into was a Subway. Well, the problem was you hit around the nail. It costs a lot of money. It's a lot of capital. I got to go get the storage facility or the location. You know,
Mm,
the commercial property. That's very expensive. I'd have to get an SBA loan, right?
mm,
You got to get the inventory, and plus on top of that, they get a percentage or revenue or profit on top of
yeah,
what I'm doing. So, you know, that kind of turned me away. And then I learned about real estate, and then I went from there. And so, yeah, you're right. To start up a franchise, for an example, or any other business, it takes a lot of
yeah,
capital. And I don't
yeah,
want to get myself in debt along with that. So that's a
yeah.
good point.
It's yeah, I mean, buying, people come to Legendary and they think that Legendary is the business, you
Mm.
know. Well, I'm spending $7 to start a business, or I'm spending $2,500 to start, but you're actually not. You're spending that money if you want to learn from us how to do it. But starting the business and becoming incorporated and all that, it's a separate thing. And as you can probably tell, there's many different ways that you can apply this. You can obviously work in the make money online niche, and
Mhm.
you can also get into real estate education. There's lots of real estate affiliate programs, or even packaging your own knowledge about what you know from real estate into a course, a coaching program, or an event, live or virtual. Even have affiliates
Yeah.
with your program. What sort of ideas and visions do you have for yourself doing this in the future?
Well, currently, what I'm doing is I go on lives, TikTok lives. I give information, and right now I do mentorship. I have an ebook, so I plan on branding myself because people want information, right?
They do.
And that's what it's about. And but that's how I'm packaging myself at this point. TikTok lives. I have an ebook. I do mentorship.
Yeah.
That's the direction I'm going to right now
Yeah.
to do my business with real estate investing online.
And it's so, brother, it's a lot of these guys nowadays and gals are actually making their money from the internet
Yeah,
and then taking that money and investing it in real estate and in the stock market or whatever other investments.
yeah.
And a lot of people have a hard time understanding, how do I become an investor? How do I get into real estate? How do I get into
Mm,
owning a part of the stock market? And it's like, I explained this yesterday. You got to have a cash flow business.
yeah.
You got to have something, that's how it happens. And you take the money that you've worked for and you put it in a place where your money works for you.
You right.
Would you agree with that?
I agree 100%. And that's what it has to do. You have to start off with having something coming in at first. And then once you have it coming in, then you disperse it into other entities or investments like
Hmm.
real estate or stocks, because the name of the game is having your money work for you, not you working for your money. When
And
it's all said.
it's interesting, man. I explained this yesterday. My wife and I had forgot in the moment, but I think it's about 7 or 8 homes. Um, we live in one, we work in one, and we rent the rest of them out, you
Yeah,
know? And where have we where a and we rent, the company rents, Legendary Marketer rents our office from my wife and I, so there's different ways to position real estate in a way that makes it both, uh, gives you tax advantages to where I mean, in the very basic tax advantages of starting a business are that you can begin to write off things like your internet service and even your computer. You know what I mean? I mean, there's some basic tax advantages of why every one of us should probably have a business and be at least spending our time on social media trying to make money instead of spend money. Would you agree?
It's funny. This thing is very powerful. This thing is very powerful.
It
You
is.
spend. I decided I was tired of being a consumer. I want to
Mm.
be a creator, right? I want to be a creator. I'm tired of being a consumer. And it's funny, they don't teach us this in school, right?
They don't, brother.
Because the more you don't know, the more they make.
Oh, come
So,
on with it. You telling all their secrets
so,
today.
so the reality of it is, I decided I need to become a creator and a business owner
Yeah.
and diversify myself. The potential is out there. You just have to invest in yourself, get the knowledge, and go from there. But
Knowledge.
this thing is very powerful because it has a lot of information. But like I said, I got tired of being a consumer. I wanted to be a creator, and then everything will go from there. You got to put the time into it. You got to invest in yourself, but you can make things happen. You really
How
can.
how how old are you, my man?
I just turned 50, August
You
29th.
look happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You made it to a big one. You made it to
Yeah,
a big one, brother. But
yeah,
listen, you're not a you didn't just fall off the turnip truck, okay? You're a 50-year-old guy who's been in the game for a long time, and you're looking at the internet. And as you're on it, you're beginning to say to yourself, I'm just making sure that I understand what I heard. You're scrolling and you're going, man, there's some people getting paid on here, and there's some people who ain't getting paid on here, and I'm in the wrong category right now. Is
there
that
you
what
go.
went through your head?
That's exactly went through my head. I said, I'm on the wrong side of this coin. I need to change. I'm already successful, fortunately enough with my real estate. But I said, you know what? I
Mhm.
can take this to another level by using my intellectual property.
Come
I'm
on.
not buying anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm using what I already have and what I already know and sharing it with the world via internet and go to that next level. So it's kind of back to the same question that you were asking me earlier about what made me want to get onto the internet and
Now
take
I'm
this,
learning.
because I have the intellectual property. So all I
Got it.
have to do is just take it from there. But yeah, you're
And
exactly
it makes perfect sense. And for those of you who I want to say two things. I want to speak to two groups of people, but you may not realize you're in the group of people who also has intellectual property in your head. And a
right.
lot of times we underestimate, undervalue what we have and what we know. Now, you're a real estate investor, you're also a licensed realtor.
Mhm.
So, how many other realtors do you think we have in this community? How many plumbers? How many carpenters? How many moms and dads? How many husbands and wives? How many carpet layers? How many people that have just completely unique
Right.
intellectual property right here, completely unique and different. And when they put their own personality on it or spin or way of talking about it, it's even more unique to them. But a lot of folks really, when they start this, it's like their brain just goes blank and
Yeah.
they forget all of which they know and that brought them to where they're at in life. I mean, brother, not only real estate, but I bet you know a little something about being a dad. I
Yeah.
bet you know a little something about being a homeowner. I
Right.
bet you know a little something about living in Texas. I mean, look, you could tell me your life story in 5 minutes, a condensed version, and I could say, okay, he knows about that, that, and that. I bet he could talk intelligently about each one of those topics. What would you say to people who feel that they don't have something to say or knowledge, or they're minimizing what they do know and letting kind of that fear and anxiety take over?
Yeah, so what I would say is first and foremost, I would say everybody has something that they can offer to somebody, right? Everybody has something. We've all experienced something. We're all going through something. We all have some type of talent. But sometimes we got to just really believe in ourselves, knowing that somebody is going to listen to us and we have information to share because everybody's willing to learn.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. And but we all have something to give. It's just we got to get over that fear factor.
Yeah.
A lot of it is fear too, I believe. Even though you have it, and fear, all that is an acronym is for false evidence appearing real. Basically.
That's the PG that's the PG version.
Yeah,
I know a couple of versions of that one.
yeah. But, but yeah, but we have to come to the reality that we all have that potential, and everybody wants to learn. Everybody can learn, but yeah, we all have something to give to somebody to share. We definitely do, and people want to learn. I truly believe that.
You nailed it with the word knowledge a few minutes ago when you said that, like, you said something about knowledge, and really when you have the knowledge you can do anything. And I watched this guy, this Norwegian sailor, on YouTube. It's just, I like boating and sailing and fishing, so I like to watch those videos. And I watch them with my kids a lot when we can't go out on the boat. We watch, boating and fishing videos.
Yeah.
Even my 1-year-old, he likes to sit up on a ladder, a little step ladder, and just sit there in the garage with me and watch. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But there's this guy, this Norwegian sailor, and he was going out, filming as he was going out into like this massive storm, and he wanted to film it, and he wanted to go out and create some content, basically. Okay. And he had this really powerful like voiceover that he did over the footage. He was just explaining that for him as a sailor, you're going to be terrified if you don't have the knowledge of what you're doing. Terrified. But once you get the knowledge, because you've done it before, how do you get knowledge? You do it. I mean, that's the best way to get knowledge. I know that a lot of us are under the assumption that if we just sit in a classroom that we really absorbed and learned something. But the truth is that you haven't learned it until you've proved that you can do what you just heard. You haven't learned it.
That's exactly right.
And so, this gentleman, Eric, is talking about knowledge and fear, and how knowledge eliminates fear. Simply, now, not totally, but it eliminates the big unknown. The big not knowing what's on the other side of hitting post. And so you obviously had that first hitting post. Can you talk us through being an offline guy, being a realtor, being a real estate investor, being somebody who's used to talking to people, I would assume, face to face? How have you overcome, what was it like the first time you hit post? And then what is it like now for you to record, now that you have more knowledge that, once you hit post, your head's not going to blow off your shoulders, or,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? The black ops helicopters are not going to come in and
Right.
grab you out of your house and say, you'll never post a video again. It's horrible. Right.
Yeah.
What has that journey been like for you?
Yeah. So let me tell you like this. I've always had the knowledge of real estate and doing all this, right? I started in 2000, but when I started getting on TikTok, I'll admit, I'm a very private person. I'm a very quiet person. I'm a very private person. But when I posted my first video, I'm not gonna lie, I was scared because I know once you post content on there, you're gonna have a lot of people seeing it. And I just remember that Nike commercial or the swoop symbol. Sometimes you just got to do it. Just do it, right? And I knew that it was just my fear taking over, the false evidence appearing real. Because once you do one video or anything in life, once you do it one time, you'll get and you keep doing it and being consistent. Now I don't even think anything about it now. I really don't. I do look back and say, man, Eric, I mean, you finally did it as far as posting content when I was petrified of doing it before. The key is just do it. It's not that bad. It's not gonna hurt you. You're gonna be okay. Just do it, and then be consistent with it. You'll be looking back saying it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, as we do with most things, right? I mean, a lot of people, the first time they took a selfie, it was like, okay, this is stupid. I'm embarrassed. I
Right.
can't do this in front of other people. And then, you know, a couple of days later, man, that same, "Hey, come here for a selfie. Get in here.
Yeah.
Get in." You
Exactly.
know what I
You do it
mean?
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
We're all humans are alike in many ways. We think we're so different, Eric. We think that, you know, and that's a sad part about, you know, even us in our society still to this day. We think we're all so different, but the truth is inside we all feel the same feelings.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so that's where I really every day kind of my goal is not to like tell or kind of convince somebody that they can go off and just make millions and have like all, you know, be driving Lamborghinis and living in mansions and all that. But here's what my message is that you can overcome your fear and you can dominate your life and stop letting fear dominate you.
Yeah.
You dominate it instead of it dominating you.
There
And
you
the
go.
number one thing that is required in entrepreneurship, it's not the know-how, it's not the knowledge because you can get the knowledge. It
Right.
is the mother mountain guts,
There
man.
you go.
It is the guts, baby.
Yeah.
You got to be able to do just what you said, bring yourself to it, whatever, to say, really at the end of the day, it's a F it. I'm going for it.
Yep. That's exactly it. And then and that's what I had to do. I just had to say, you know what? I got to do this. It's going to be okay. And I'm still doing it. So uh that's the key. You have to just do it.
Yeah.
You have to get over the fear, get over all that, do your first content, you'll be just fine. But that's what you hit around the nail. You just got to just do it.
What specific content creation tips do you have? What's been useful in your marketing and your content creation that you know you're like, wow, that really made a significant change or a noticeable change? Is there anything that you can kind of pick out besides just the consistency of taking action and just you know learning, teaching, you know, learning, doing, teaching? What other what other things have been helpful for you, or could you point out that made an impact? Is there
Well,
any little tricks with your videos? Anything in specific that you feel like was like, ah, when I started doing this, it really, you know, I really started to get more traction or anything like that?
some one of the things that I do and I continuously do is the TikTok lives. Once you get over 1,000, to me, that's where the ball starts to roll. Right? It's one thing. Don't get me wrong. It's one thing to have good content because you have to have good content and stuff like that. But as me being a TikTok creator, once I got to my 1,000 and I can go TikTok live, to me, that's where the exponential growth began
Mm,
and still growing. I got I think like 45,000 followers, but when you go live and you give good content and give good value, right? Then it just you just exponentially grow from there. That's
yeah.
one thing that I've learned. And I didn't want to even go live, but
Mm,
once I learned that worked and people were receptive to it and I was giving good content and value, it just went exponential from there. That was the best thing that I can tell you.
and
Yeah.
we're live right now, baby.
And then we're live right now.
You
That's
know what I mean? I mean, it's like, you know what I like about going live? You know what I like about going live? Here's what I like about going live. It doesn't even matter if you don't even have to be Mr. kind of or Mrs. Professional or what. Nobody wants that anyways.
That's
You
right.
just got to get up on camera and let these cats know you're real, man.
There you go.
That's all they want to know. That's all people want to know because there's so many scams and so much bullshit online. There really is, folks.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some of y'all have been hit up by some of these cats in our Facebook group and so forth. Talking about, oh, come on. They're like they're like people in a dark alley who are like, you know, reaching out at you. Man, people just want to know that you're real half the time.
They just want to know that you're real and you're just like them. That
Yeah.
basically they just want to be. They just want to know. But yeah, um,
It's
being
one of the reasons why I don't get like in some set, man, or some like whatever, is because this is actually what I do all day. I just sit when I'm working in this desk in this house. I'm in a house. I got my couch right there. You know
yeah,
what I mean? I got my G wagons parked out in the parking lot. You probably
yeah,
can't see that, but I mean, I'm just, you know, I'm not out there. I'm not out there going live in my G wagon trying to look cool. Like I'm just right here chilling.
right.
And it don't matter if I have anything hanging up on my wall, plugs and shit. I got my blower
Yeah,
battery back here, man. I got my blower because I love to. That sounds bad, but
That sounds bad.
I
Yeah.
like to blow the leaves, man.
There
You know
you
what I
go.
mean?
There you go.
But
But they,
it's
but people just want, I've just learned throughout this whole thing. They don't care about how your hair looks or I got thick eyebrows and all that. They don't care about all that. People just want value and information and content. But like you said, they want to make sure that, because there's so many scams going on. They just want to make sure that you're a real person. You
that's
hit it
all
around the nail. You
that's
really did.
all they want, man. They
That's
don't
all they
even need you to be Mr. Not, know it all. You don't have to be fancy. You don't have to, is all that matters is what you are sharing.
Exactly.
Can they use it? Is it either educational or entertaining? And we all know that a little entertainment goes a long way on the internet too.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Let loose a little bit. I mean, one of the things that I've learned to do in my videos is really try to just be myself and maybe even have more fun than I might normally have if I'm not on camera,
Yeah.
because it's fun. You're interacting with a lot of people. And again, it's terrifying the first time you do it. It's
It is.
terrifying. We get it.
Right.
We want to make sure that we put an emphasis on that. It's terrifying. But then once you do it, it actually is fun, or it was for me. And I'm also an introvert. And what's odd is I've become more of an introvert over time and more private over time. And one of the reasons why I did that was because in my career, I've been putting my stuff out there for a long time. And now that I've got little kids, I kind of pulled all that back. You know what I mean? And I'm more selective about what I post.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't describe that. I don't care to try to understand that because they're my number one priority. I'd quit all this today.
There you go.
But what I also realized through the process of not, of trying to keep my personal life a little bit more private than I have over the years, what I've learned through that is that people don't care about all the details. They don't really want to go on a reality show with you. They don't really want to. They just want to get what they want or need, and they just want it delivered to them in a nonchalant way, as if they were like talking to a friend versus sitting in a lecture room. That's the best way I can articulate kind of my journey and what I've learned about what people really want and who I have to be. I don't have to be everything and be putting pictures of my kids. If you want to do that, that's fine.
Right.
But just understand that you can sit in front of a wall every day like I do. And I do this on purpose. I know I've seen Gary Vee set up and all these guys, they got all this shit up and, they got all this stuff behind them and their sets look real nice. And for me, it's like, there's magic in just being simple and just it being me and not only for my audience, but it's so much more stress free for me, the creator, as well.
Yeah.
Would
you say that being that you've been on the internet so many times and everything, when it comes to people, they can see who's real or not? Do you think that's true?
1,000%, bro.
They can see that, right?
1,000%.
So it's best if we because your audience can see that, or anybody's audience can see, okay, he's not being real. So the more ordinary you are,
trying to do too much, or he's trying to impress me, or she's trying to impress me. People are tired of that sort of I'm better than, or look at everything I got. We're not, people get more bitter than they do celebrate that. And so it's for me, it's a matter of just simplifying and realizing what's important in my content creation and what's important in my business. And what is important is not all the things I get anxiety about, like how can I make myself look better? Whenever I get into that sort of thinking, how can I try to look better, look cooler, look more successful, whatever, that's the opposite way that I need to go to connect with my audience.
There you go. There you go. That's 100% true. And I had to learn that as I was going along too, that people can see that stuff, but you hit it right on the nail. You
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah. I mean, and hey, bro, you, if you came across me first time on the internet, you wouldn't know what I got or what my career is or what I've been able to accumulate or how much I'm worth or anything like that. You would, because I don't, because I'm not putting off those vibes really. You know
Right.
what I mean?
You're not.
And what I find is when people are putting off those vibes nowadays, you just see it. People are like shyster, all this kind of shit. Like, and people are bitter anyways because we just got out of a massive financial
Mhm.
people got taken to the cleaners
Oh,
on
yeah.
throughout the pandemic, and now we got a recession coming, and
Yep.
people need to people are looking for somebody to come down in the trench with
With
them,
them. Yep.
not try to be cooler, not try to act like I'm better than you, let me reach down, but
Right.
get grimy, get some dirt under your fingernails. I mean,
Right.
like at the masterminds, even like I get down on the ground, I'll talk to you anywhere, I'll talk to you about anything, because that's really who I am
Yeah.
versus when I'm feeling insecure and I'm trying to be something that I'm not, or I'm trying to
Right.
be standoffish. Like a lot of this business, I think, especially with creating content and being on video now, is about getting comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I
agree.
mean? And
Mhm.
that's a challenge for us big ego guys who we're afraid to let people know who we really are. We want to put on a tough guy, but really I'm a soft dude, man. And
Yeah.
I just like and love people, man. And I like my life. I like my life that I have. I don't want to travel the world and be gone from my home
Yeah.
300 days. Like I got a family, man. I got 2 little kids. Like for me, I want to be home.
Home. That's how I am. I just wanna be home and keep everything simple. I'm the type,
Simple,
I just wanna
man.
keep everything simple and be at home, and I'm happy. As
And,
long as
and,
the
and
kid's happy.
that's not to say that, traveling and stuff like that is not something that is on my, that I like to do and stuff like that. But here's my point is that if you think that you need to travel and show some lifestyle and try to be a cool guy on the internet to make money, you'll be broke.
Yeah.
You'll be
Quick.
broke
Yep.
quick. And I've
Yep.
seen it with people who have come through in our community. A lot of them were marketers before this, and they kind of came through and they thought, and even they said, I won't throw anybody under the bus, but even they said, man, I have been wasting so much money trying to be cool in
Yeah.
my videos and traveling around and showing lifestyle stuff. And the truth is that the wealthiest people I know in this business are people who, like we're talking about, keep it really, really simple. Keep the main thing, which is the client happiness and satisfaction and the results that your clients are getting.
Yep.
And for me, we've also grown a pretty sizable company. So how can I be an active CEO if I'm always doing something else? So it's also about knowing what you got and putting the time into that thing
Right.
that it deserves. And,
Right.
and if I'm traveling or I'm so for me, again, it's we have a lot of things in common. It's about simplifying life. And the more money that I've got, the more successful that I've become, the more I've realized that what's important to me is to have investments so that I and my family are taken care of, especially if something happens to me. I don't want my wife to ever need another man in
Man.
order to take care of my kids. You understand?
Yeah. Yeah, you hit a chord with me on that one. So you're exactly right. I'm not about the flashy life or anything, but I want to make sure I have it up. It's just more just about, like you say, simplifying everything. I don't care to have a Lamborghini and a big house and all. That's not important to me. I simplify everything, and then that extra cash flow that I have and money, I do it into other investments. That way, it's your growth, your financial portfolio is just going to grow exponentially, and you won't even
Yeah.
have to try as hard. It's just
Yeah.
like a snowball effect,
It
and it
is,
just
man.
grows and grows, and that's what's important to me,
If
not
you
the
keep
materialistic.
the main thing, man. The
Yeah,
main thing is getting results for your customers and delivering quality content and taking the money that you make and smartly investing it. That's the
exactly.
game. That's the game. And it
That's it.
really don't matter what industry you're in. It's just that we happen to be on the internet and there's some different mechanics. But the truth is you and I could be sitting across from a conference table right now doing this interview the same way that we could be doing it on the internet.
That's exactly right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's really just a lot of the principles are the same. It's just the mechanics, where we're doing it, how we're doing it.
Yep.
Um, hey, this is stuff that I wish I would have heard at the beginning, because when I first started, everybody was trying to be so cool on the internet. Everybody was trying to look more successful than they were. And we see that still happening.
To say
And
it.
in my message, I really want everybody to leave with this today, and I think you embody this really well, is just be humble and be yourself, and don't try to do too much.
There
Don't
you
try
go.
to be too much. And the number one thing is never lie, because everything stays on the internet. So it's better to build a real story. It's better to build an authentic path that nobody can ever take from you, versus fronting and stunting with all the flash and trash out there. People just nowadays, people laugh that shit away.
They laugh it away. And look, if you're lying and stuff too, now you got to cover up that lie with another lie. Now you're just really battling yourself. And then at that point, it's like a football player just fumbling the ball, and people can see that so easy, especially
Yeah.
nowadays with the internet. It's very transparent. You can see this stuff. But
It's
yeah,
a vibe, man. It's a vibe too. And people got a built-in
yeah,
bullshit detector. It really is there, man. And at first, people, because it was a different platform, I think, the internet, people didn't really know, this person looks legit. They look professional. They look like, because maybe their videos were highly produced or something.
right, right,
But
right.
nowadays, man, when the most popular videos are the ones that are just shot by regular people on cell phones,
Yep,
there's nowhere to hide your phony self if that's who you're going to to
that's
to,
it.
to come out with, because people just, that built-in bullshit detector picks it up. And the story that you will build from doing it just honestly will not only inspire and make you more money from other people, but it will actually inspire you. You'll
Right.
be inspired by your own story of
Yeah,
not giving up, of persevering, of being resilient. And for me, I don't know about you, Eric, but for me, it was about making all the things in my life not be just in vain, man.
yeah,
All these difficult things that I went through, all these mistakes that I made, I wanted to not let those not be just for nothing. I want
right.
to turn those struggles into a strengths. I want
Right.
to turn my mess into a message. And the internet, it being all about content, has allowed me to turn what was a mess in my life, and has been
Yeah,
over the years, into a message that helps people.
that
And the feeling that you get when you help somebody from something that was once a major shame point for you, or a major feeling bad about that, and you can then take that and turn it around and turn it into a learning lesson. You don't even have to, you can't go back and fix it.
right.
You just are, all you're doing is talking about it differently
Yeah.
and sharing it with other people so they can learn from your
Your
experience. And
mistakes.
that's the money, man.
So I don't just tell people about my real estate success, because the reality of it is there was a journey and I failed some things too. So you hit around the nail. That's more content that you have, but the reality of it is it's the truth. And when you can share that with other people, you're helping them. And that goes back to what we were saying. You're just being more real, you're being more transparent. People can see that, and that's going to help you grow more because people are going to see that you're just a real person, just like them in the gutter, doing it.
Yeah.
Same thing. You're reaching down to them and helping them out and saying, "Hey, look, this is the stuff that happened to me," and that's what I do in my TikTok lives. I let them know, don't just look at I'm not going to just show you my success. I'm going to show you my failures too, and that's
Yeah.
bringing value. That
Yeah.
is bringing value.
Yeah, man, it's the most value. It's exactly what we all wish we had more of in our lives. Men, from, like, usually we wish that we had more of it from maybe male,
Yeah,
role models, or more guidance. Or, I mean, it's just, we all yearn for that kind of honest
exactly.
guidance, that guidance with integrity. And if you have something that you're offering for sale at the end of your guidance, that doesn't make the guidance bad.
Right.
That makes you smart, right?
Right.
Because it makes you know your value,
Right.
and in every great restaurant, Ruth Chris, anything, I mean, that's one of my favorites. But any great restaurant you're going to go into, they might bring you something, some bread, something for free,
Right.
but
That's true.
they know their value. You know what I mean?
They
If
know
you
their
want to,
value.
if you want a steak and you don't have to order it, but if you want a steak, it's going to be $50,
That's true.
So uh, it's just about really, giving freely, giving authentically, and then knowing your value, giving a call to action and inviting people to get more information. If you want to learn more, if this sounds good, those are all transition statements. If
Right.
this sounds like something you want to learn more of, if this sounds like something that you're interested, if you want to learn this too, if you'd like help putting something like this together, these are all transition statements that at the end of the value, if this sounds like something that you want to learn the 3 strategies more in depth, go ahead and click the link, and there'll be a free training video that I'll send to you. Just enter your correct email address and we'll get it right over to you.
There
Click the
you go.
link. You know what I mean?
That's
It-
exactly
It's
right.
it's just about offering. It's always an offering of more knowledge, but it's just an invitation once you've delivered something of value. And 99% of the time, somebody will continue to move forward if they feel like they're getting value, and it's not a waste of their time. They're learning something. And it's a beautiful process. They feel like they're getting value, and
Mm.
you're moving them through your sales funnel process, bringing them closer to maybe buying a more advanced training or whatever may be, which is going to increase your overall income and revenue.
Right.
And I mean, the whole business model that we teach is based on that, of giving something of value for low to no cost up front and letting them get a taste. And then saying, you know what, if that tasted good and you want more of that,
Yeah.
then we have some more advanced training. And it's such a smoother way to do it than trying to slam something down somebody's throat the first time you've met them.
Like the car salesman type of approach, right?
Yeah,
Like the car salesman, yeah.
they get a bad rap, man. They get
Oh,
a bad rap, don't they? um hey man, it's been great. I feel like I've talked to you before, man. Have you been on the show before?
no, sir. This is my first time. This
I
is my
could have
first time.
swore, man. My brain's playing tricks on me. But um, any final thoughts from you, brother? Anything that you would say to folks who are sitting around thinking about how they're going to use this Friday,
Hey,
how they're
look,
gonna how they're gonna spend their time on this Friday? What they're
I,
gonna do?
yeah, I just say, look, we all have something we've experienced. We all have some type of talent or skill set. Utilize this phone right here. This internet is very powerful. It's 24/7. You can make content, share some information, and eventually you can make something out of it. That's what I tell people. And don't be scared. I was the same way. I was very scared. I was petrified. Once you get into it, it's not that bad. It's false evidence appearing real. After that, it's just like riding a bike. I was scared when we all been there before, right? When I get on that bike, I was petrified. But as time went on, you get on, it becomes second nature. And that's
It
just
does.
like this with this business. The same
And
thing.
and that is really a saying that people say is it's just like riding a bike. You pick it back up, once you've learned how to do it, you really never forget. As you say, it's second nature. That's such a great analogy. And as a marketer, one of my favorite things is analogies. Why do I love analogies? Because usually I'm talking about things that people don't understand because they've heard them, they're hearing them for the first time. So if I can relate it to an analogy that they can understand from their life, then it helps them to understand. And so as a marketer, use more. And that was a beautiful one. The bicycle, that was a beautiful analogy, brother. So take note. Sometimes the lessons are in exactly what you say, and sometimes the lessons are in how you do it. See, sometimes we need to listen to what people say, but we also need to watch what they do and how they do it. We can learn a lot from that as well. So
Exactly.
thanks for demonstrating a wonderful way to get your point across, which is to use an analogy. And it's a great way to reach people. And you've reached me this morning, brother. I'm fired up. And I don't think I'm the only one that's watching that's fired up. So thanks for your time. And come back and see me, man. Let's make a second one since we haven't had one. I'd love to talk to you again.
Let's do that. And David, I want to say thank you for all that you've done. You've helped millions of people. And thank you for letting me come on the show. But yeah, I definitely want to come back and I'll reach out to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, brother. All right, my friends. Now, I did have a question that came in that somebody said, what is the other acronym or what do you call it for fear? Um, Well, he said that it was false evidence appearing real. It could be F everything and run. It could be face everything and recover. That's one that we've used in 12-step recovery. Face everything and recover. I bet that could be something that you could or I could use in a lot of different areas of my life. Okay. Because I need to recover. I need to recover. I need to recover from likely a lot of the things that I've been taught and told and influenced by from other people growing up. I need to recover from that. I need to recover oftentimes from their limiting beliefs that they've given me, their limiting beliefs that they've passed on to me. Sometimes I need to recover from that. Sometimes I need to recover from an abusive relationship where somebody beat me down and now my confidence is in the toilet and I'm trying to build a business. Sometimes I need to recover from a lot of things, you know. And the beautiful thing about this business in this journey is it works in conjunction with other things that you're doing to take care of yourself and grow. Because entrepreneurship is all about growth. You don't stay the same. You just don't. It's all about growth. So face everything and recover. Face everything and recover. Or Joe says, fluff everything and run. Don't do that, right? False evidence appearing real. Fear. Man, that's a good one too. Wow. Write these down and use them. They're not just cute little catchphrases that we can all feel like we're cool because we came up. Use these son of a guns. Remember that when you're about to hit post, that it is false evidence appearing real. It looks like you have evidence to not do it. But it's false. It's literally like you're hallucinating. That's the power that fear has on us. It literally will get us believing some shit that is not even there. Obviously, that's what fear is, right? And so remember, I love that. I'm going to stick with Eric's false evidence appearing real, even though mine are a little bit more hot. They get a little more sizzle to them. F everything and run. Face false evidence appearing real. Remember that through the weekend, that the things that are popping up that you think are roadblocks, that you think are hurdles, that you think are big mountains right in the middle of the road, false evidence appearing real. Thanks, Eric. See you on Monday, everybody. Get out of here. Peace. Have a great Friday and a legendary weekend. Peace.